Most of us have been exposed to this interesting tool called the compass, and I am here today to explain about our experience in India using this tool for navigating in the times of change. We have very successfully utilized this compass tool in India for critical business situations, and to name a few, you see it right here. We try to utilize this for the India strategy. We also use it for our individual plant and operation strategy for two of our plants and operations in India, and a very different scenario also for utilizing it for the union wage settlement, which happens once in 3 years in one of our operations. So wherever we felt in India that it was a critical business situation where we had to involve, get the opinions of a huge number of team players and come to a very important conclusion, we wanted to use this business scenario with using the compass tool. The first and foremost, I'll share to you about how we utilize this tool for the India strategy. In the compass tool, as we have been exposed to this earlier, most of us, we've seen this, we've got trained on it. We start from the true north, and that is nothing else but where we want to go. So the vision should be very clear, and it should be clear to all the stakeholders. And the vision, what you will see ahead in the next slides, are also about talking about taking India to a level of 100 million euros turnover by 2025. So we had a big vision. We wanted to double the turnover of India in just 3 years, from 2022 to 2025. And with regards to that, we said, let's see how the compass tool can help us define the strategy for India. The next stage in the compass is to move clockwise, and the next is to understand why we want to be there. And that is very important, so that all the stakeholders have a very clear buy-in into the process. They understand, and what is the reason to get to this target that we are looking at. And very interestingly, when you go down south, you see all the obstacles which will come in your way for achieving this target and vision. And we look at the limitations that we have currently, which will not allow us to move to where we want to be. And finally is the how. How is what we would like to do and implement to reach the vision. Usually, we in our limited way of thinking, we move very quickly from the where to the how, and in an anti-clockwise direction, and that's what we do. And we do not do the complete cycle of involving the stakeholders, where they all would understand very clearly why they would need to be, why they would like to reach this target or vision, and then what can be the limitations, and that's how this process usually fails. So very interestingly, when you see this, we looked at what was the current phase in 2022 of the entire India operations and business, and you see that our previous ongoing phase was to look at how to be one India. Very important to integrate the entire operations, to have same policies, procedures, have the same structure for the entire India. So this was the phase that we went through, and we wanted to move this phase into a new orbit. And this new orbit was nothing else but looking at phenomenal growth, changing the compounded annual growth rates to double digits, and for that we had to look at new market segments, and those new market segments could have been what you see here very clearly as Skid, Force, WMC and others. We were looking at IoT solutions, we were looking at innovation, and that's all part of it which would take us to the new orbit. And finally, why we would do this? Obviously to reach the 100 million. But one thing which was also very interesting and critical was to understand that we would also like to reduce the carbon footprint of our operations in India, and we had to look at that. When you see this process, what we did, we looked at what is in it for us, which is the why. We also looked at the barriers, and you see very clearly identified barriers here, that we would have limitations in engineering capabilities and talent and pipeline, and we are not there today in the IoT and solutions. And another major barrier would be the localization piece. We have to increase significantly the local content. And then we decided that in the India SML, we also do the SML in India. And when we would do the SML in India, we would take up projects which would address these limitations as you see them here. So this is one example of how we strategized for the India business to look at where we want to be and how we would reach there. Again, we utilize this tool for the particular operation. So I'm just sharing one example to you about the Ghaziabad operation, where we tried to again utilize this tool of the Compass. And why we did that? Because Ghaziabad, we invested heavily in the last 2 years. In 2022, we put a new plant in operation in Ghaziabad, and here we wanted significant growth. And when I say significant, it is not in percentages, but if you really see, it is very, very high. We're talking of 5 times the turnover of the existing turnover. So it was trying to be in a very, very different mode of growth. The first step is to identify where is the current team in the structure of the operation, and that's what you see here very clearly, is that we identified that we as a team are at a level of okay. We are not good, we are not great as a team today, we are just about okay. And then you see very, very clearly it has been identified why do we say that the Ghaziabad operations and business team is okay today, and then obviously we would look at what are the barriers and limitations. We also looked at our strengths, weaknesses in step 2, opportunities and threats. So we did a detailed SWOT analysis to see, and you see some of those mentioned right here. We have a young and dynamic team, we have great passion for improvement, but we do lack mutual trust. We need to enhance our innovation capabilities. So you see all that coming up in the SWOT analysis. Further in the step, using the Compass approach, we identified the last phase for the Ghaziabad operation, and we said very clearly that the next phase would be of very, very high growth rates, which I just talked about. We wanted to be nearly a 12 million euro operation, very, very taking the turnover and revenues to about 5 times of the existing. And that was the vision that we set the team, for the team. When you look at again the Compass and you see what we did in this process, you see very, very clearly this would enhance the personal growth of the team as well, while we are going to achieve this vision. But there are limitations which need to be addressed, and you see in the why not. We have a limited product portfolio, project planning skills, and then quality stable operations need to be focused upon if we have to go for these high growth rates. With that, we also identified 4 critical projects which will take us there, and which would help us minimize the limitations which are there currently. And the first one you see is HVAC. To enhance the product portfolio. To increase the product portfolio, we need to get into new market segments, and HVAC was defined as one of them. There are other complementary products which we could also get into, which is the second project which you see. And third and fourth, which we just talked about, are more about stable processes and then deployment of project management tools and upgrading the project management skills of our team members. Again, taking you through what we did for the HVAC. When we went through this, we identified HVAC as one of the critical items that we take up as a project, and then we look at the HVAC, and we utilized the WICA strategic landscape very, very well. We identified the focus market of HVAC, and in this focused HVAC market, we identified the application, and you see that this market is growing very, very well in India. 14.9%, and we have a significant 15 million euro SAM, the serviceable accessible market which is available to us today to participate, and we also define the go-to-market strategy. With this, the way forward would be very clearly to start participating in exhibition in India for the HVAC, and Acrex, which you see here, is one of the largest HVAC exhibitions in India. So we decided we should participate there. From there, we should define our strategy for India for HVAC. We also wanted to participate in the global, SML where HVAC is also mentioned. So we had to have a member from the India team represent in that team as well. We would identify our product gaps, and then for further future R&D, we would hire a dedicated resource from the HVAC segment also who can help us develop new products for the applications. And for quick wins and quick hits, we decided to focus on dedicated special applications, and we also defined that we should partner with strategically to get a foothold into this market with an existing large partner who already has a great presence in the HVAC segment. And this is how this journey started for the HVAC for us at Ghaziabad. So you see here very, very clearly, we participated in the Accurex exhibition. We had a questionnaire. We took that questionnaire to all the exhibitors. We got some inputs out of this exhibition. You see that one member of our team also joined the global SML team on the HVAC, as I just talked about. And you also see that we looked at these special applications. And very, very clearly, when you see this, on the left-hand side, you see a competitor product being utilized in an application, and we went to the customer to say that we would like to give you the complete solution. So we have the switch products, we have the gauges, and we also would make the complete panel for our customer. And this is what changed the game for us also for these special applications. And you see very clearly our Vyka gauges as well as switches being used in the panel for the customer. This is an example where we partnered with Dryall and we went for dual branding of our switch products. And you see very clearly we launched it in the Accurex exhibition. So it was also very, very good to see that we got a foothold into this industry as well, market segment. So this is sharing with the larger team some small successes that we started on the journey in India utilizing the Compass tool, which some of us obviously got exposed to and learnt. And I personally feel that it has been a powerful learning experience and journey for not only myself, but the team at large. Thank you.